A Sad Life in Waiting. This is a summary of a true story of a man, an immigrant born into hardship. At 6 years old, he was brought to New York City, where he grew up in one of the most dangerous parts of the city. His older brothers forced him into gang life, and by the age of 11, they pinned him to a couch and injected him with heroin. He was addicted by 12. His youth became consumed by gang activity, and drugs clouded his mind. At 17, during withdrawal-induced rage, he murdered a man over the very substance that controlled his life. He was convicted and sentenced to life in prison. During his first decade behind bars, drugs and violence were a constant. He was transferred between some of the most notorious maximum security prisons in New York. One day, he was reassigned to a cell with an elderly inmate, a murderer full of regret. It was through this man that he found his own sense of God, and he got clean. With newfound purpose, he earned his high school equivalency and began helping other inmates get sober. Eventually, he was transferred to a prison where he had the opportunity to pursue a bachelor's degree. He graduated with a BA in drug and alcohol counseling. By this time, he had been incarcerated for just over 22 years. Then, unexpectedly, the parole board approved his release. Upon re-entering society, he got a job at a mental health clinic in the same rough neighborhood he once called home. His assertiveness, intelligence, and care for others helped him rise to the role of clinical supervisor, where he ran his own department. It was there he met a coworker, and their relationship blossomed. They married and soon were expecting a child. He was working towards a master's degree, and she was pursuing her PhD. Together, they bought a home, eagerly preparing for their new life. Late in her pregnancy, he took her out for ice cream. But as they pulled into the parking lot, who was there to see him pull up behind the wheel? His parole officer. Driving was a violation of his parole, and he was sent back to prison, this time without the possibility of release. The next governor, who was 2 years from the election, was campaigning on a platform that included releasing prisoners like him, men who served long sentences and proven their positive impact on society. But in the meantime, he missed the birth of his son, leaving an empty line on the birth certificate. His devoted wife brought their son to visit him twice a month, determined to ensure the boy knew his father. The child became the symbol of his new life. 2 years into this reinstated life sentence, he died of a heart attack. He had been in and out of the infirmary for months. The prison's system's indifference and inefficiency denied him the simple life-saving care he needed. His death was a heartbreaking end, not just for him, but for all those who loved him and believed in the new man he had become.